Hey there! Have you ever felt like you were getting in your own way? Like you're right on the edge of success, and then you do something to mess it up? Today we're going to get into the fascinating reason why that happens. Let's dive in. I mean, it is such a frustrating paradox, isn't it? You work so hard for something. Stability, a new job, a healthy relationship. And the second you get it, some part of you just wants to hit the eject button. Well, it turns out there's a deep psychological reason for this. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack. So, to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to talk about something called scarcity's invisible blueprint. Just imagine that your past experiences, especially with stress and lack, created a set of architectural plans deep inside your mind. You can't see them, but they are absolutely dictating how you build your life.
Now, the foundation of this blueprint is what researchers call the architecture of poverty. And let's be super clear about this. This has nothing to do with a person's character or their willpower. No, this is a neurological thing. When your brain lives under constant financial stress, it literally rewires itself to become a lean, mean, short-term survival machine.
And to understand that rewiring, you need to know about this idea of cognitive bandwidth. Think of it like the RAM on your computer, or maybe the battery life on your phone. Every single day, you only get a certain amount to spend on things like focus, planning, and resisting temptation. It is an absolutely finite resource.
Right, so if that resource is finite, what happens to it when you're living in a constant state of scarcity? Well, it turns out scarcity is basically a thief that comes in and steals that mental energy every single day.
You know, the mental gymnastics of juggling bills, figuring out how to stretch groceries, or worrying about an unexpected car repair. That's not a background task. It's an all-consuming process that takes over the whole system. Because, well, it has to. Survival comes first.
And check this out. This chart just lays it out so clearly. When 60% of your mental battery is being drained by constant worry, and another 30% is spent just making it through the day, what's actually left for the big picture, for planning for the future, for dreaming? You're left with what, 10%? There's just not enough bandwidth left over.
But here's where this gets really wild, and honestly a little counterintuitive. What happens when you finally get out of that crisis mode? Why on earth would your own nervous system seem to reject the very comfort and safety you fought so hard to get?
Okay, think of it like your brain is running on one of two different operating systems. One is attuned to safety. In that OS, being calm feels normal, and stability is something you can trust. But the other OS, the one attuned to lack, is totally different. It's constantly scanning for danger. It expects things to go wrong. For that system, chaos. Chaos feels normal. It feels like home.
And this quote, wow, it just perfectly nails the emotional truth of it all. For a brain built on scarcity, calm is not peace. It is the unnerving silence before the next crisis. Just let that sink in for a second. If your whole life has taught you that quiet moments are just the precursor to disaster, then peace itself starts to feel terrifying.
So what we call self-sabotage, it's not actually a desire to fail. Not at all. It's a subconscious retreat back to what feels familiar. Your brain is a master of the environment it was trained in. It doesn't know the rules for peacetime, so it creates a little chaos to get back to the battle it knows how to fight. It's just trying to get back to normal.
Now, I know this can all sound a little bit grim, but here's the incredibly hopeful part. Understanding this is powerful, because the moment you can see the blueprint, you're no longer a slave to it. You can actually start to read the plans.
So let's just recap the big aha moments here. First, scarcity isn't a money problem, it's a bandwidth problem. Second, your brain is just doing its job, it's adapting. Third, that self-sabotage impulse isn't a flaw, it's a misguided survival instinct. And finally, just knowing this is the first step. It lets you replace judgment with compassion, for yourself and for other people. And that really is the biggest takeaway of all. This internal architecture isn't a prison. It isn't a life sentence. It's just a design, a blueprint, based on old, outdated information. And the beautiful thing about blueprints is that once you learn how to read them, you can decide to start building something new.
So, I'll leave you with this. Seeing this blueprint, knowing it might be there, it does more than just explain the past. It gives you power over your future. So my question to you is, now that you can see the plan, what are you going to build?